Ta-da! Hello, everybody. How are you? Thank you for joining me. I'm really conscious of the quality of this video. I'm not used to it. So again, apologies for that. But again, thank you for being here. We're going to be talking about sacred rage tonight. So I'm going to just have a bit of a chit chat while I wait for a couple of people to come on. Hope you've all had a good Saturday. If there is anything that you do want to discuss or anything that you do want to ask in regards to sacred rage this evening, please feel free to pop anything that you want to know or ask or that you would like discussed in the comments, and I will get round to that. This is going to be a really, really powerful one because this is a really, really powerful subject. And I am also looking forward to being able, my candles are going crazy. I am really looking forward to being able to speak a little bit more freely and go into a little bit more detail about a few things. So let's get into it, shall we? Before we dive into sacred rage and how we use it and what it's used for and what it can do for our lives, I just want to cover a little bit about what it is. I've got a couple of notes that I've written here about sacred rage and what it is. So basically, sacred rage is a powerful force that, when used in the right way, can help to fuel positive changes, can help to make transformations take place within our life. Sacred rage, it's not isolated, it's not singular. There are lots of different things that go with sacred rage, lots of different things that triggers it, lots of different things that we have to understand in order to be able to work with it. So it's not a singular thing, although it is very powerful by itself. Once you understand it, it is all part of the shadow work process. And what you need to do in order to be able to connect to your sacred rage, to be able to utilize your sacred rage, is you need to be able to tap into your passion. You know, that inner passion, that inner fire that we all have. If you think about it, anger or rage and passion are two very, very, very similar vibrations. They're both fiery, they're both very, very strong. They both can take you to extreme highs and extreme lows, right? So in order to be able to work with and fully understand sacred rage, we have to also be able to embody our passions, and we have to be able to utilize passion to understand it, to be able to work with it. And this is where the connection to the divine feminine comes in. Okay, that whole sensual energy, that whole empowering energy, that whole dark feminine energy where you are confident and you exude grace and power and you are literally unfuckwithable. You know, it doesn't matter what other people say, it doesn't matter what other people do. You are a goddess in your own right, and you are unfazed, and you are untouchable, and you are unfuckwithable, because you have worked through your shadows, because you understand yourself, because you have worked through the anger and you understand it, and you know how to use sacred rage. This is the stuff that true goddesses are made of. Like, it's not a joke. This is powerful. This is transformational. It is such a key tool. Once you embrace it, once you understand it, it changes the game forever. You need to be able to, with sacred rage, right? It's not going to be for everybody. You know, you have to be at a very specific point in your journey. You have to be of a certain mindset. You have to be ready for it. And in turn, you have to be able to acknowledge your emotions, to validate your emotions, to understand your emotions, to be able to work with your emotions. Because on the surface, in its raw form, in its misunderstood way, anger is very volatile. It can be very, very triggering. So when it comes to sacred rage, it's not about coming at it and approaching it from this volatile, angry, unstable place. It is about approaching things, sitting with the anger, embracing it, being able to absorb it, right? And then using it as power and passion and knowledge and insight. When you work with sacred rage, when you incorporate it into your life, it means that you are able to express your emotions, even the heavy ones, even the not so great ones, you know, them really, really intense ones, because you are able to work through things, because you are able to sit with it, because you are able to process it. You are able to express them, even when they're intense, even when it's really hard. And it is a tool that will catapult you so far forward on your spiritual journey. It's about not being so reactive, you know, getting angry, getting pissed off, getting triggered, and then screaming and shouting and going, ah, or having an argument and a big blow up and a big fallout. It's not about that. It's about sitting with it, channeling the energy into a positive form, into insight, into reason, into power. And then to be able to find the healing, to be able to find the transformation, to be able to uncover the unlimiting beliefs, or the limiting beliefs, sorry. You know, this is a real, real powerful thing. So when you work with sacred rage, when you learn it, when you understand it, it becomes a force of energy that, like I said, will propel you forward on this spiritual journey. There's so much anger, and there's so much hate, and there's so much fear in the world at the moment, right? That people are arguing, people are fighting, people are fearful, people are very closed down, very insular, very, you know, focused, one-minded, most people at the moment, because that's the way society has been constructed. That's the way that they control us and the outcomes that they want. But when you understand this energy, when you understand energy work and the manipulation of energy and all of that sort of stuff, you can still play an active role in society. You can still stand up for what you think is right and what you think is wrong. But you have the tools and the insight and the power to transmute it into something more, into something bigger, into something productive and more powerful. This is why Instagram keeps on cutting me off, and they don't want me, sorry about Hades in the background, and they don't want me talking about certain things, because when you realize that everything is energy, and it doesn't matter about the details, if you can identify the aim, keep you stuck in fear, keep you separate, you know, keep you not thinking for yourself, you can acknowledge that, and yes, it will get you angry, but what comes after the anger? I will tell you what comes after the anger. Sacred rage comes after the anger. And that is where you take the bullshit and you transmute it and you make it into something beautiful. And that is one of the most empowering and fulfilling things that you will ever do. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's world issues, wars, famine, homelessness. It doesn't matter if it's your toxic relationship, your mental health, your issues with your kids, stress at work. Yes, allow yourself to go through the emotions, allow yourself to go through the process. Feel the anger, feel the rage, get pissed off. But after that, you know, after giving yourself the time to channel, to sit, to absorb, to see, step into sacred rage, because it is powerful and it's transformational. So that's me, you know, banging on about sacred rage and all of that sort of stuff. Please do let me know if you have got any questions that you would like to know about sacred rage. I'm not really too sure how many people are on here, but if you would really like to, you know, sort of like get into the energy of sacred rage and connect into sort of like your energy and how you feel and where you're at with your journey on this at the moment, pop something in the comments that is bothering you or something that makes you angry, and I will connect and I will channel and we'll see if we can shift it and heal it and bring understanding. And that is the point of sacred rage. It is about power and it is about understanding. Joanne, will we be able to rewatch this? It would be great to listen and do the workbook together. Yes, you will be able to replay this once it's done. I'm going to save it, so it should be available on Patreon and it should be available on the actual YouTube channel as well. The workbook, I am so excited about the workbook. I just felt that it would be a really good tool for you to be able to assess some of that, you know, deeper stuff that we don't really pay attention to on a day-to-day level. And everyone's always usually really confused about shadow work and how to, you know, start with shadow work, what to do with shadow work. And I feel like sacred rage is a really good place to start. And like you say, Joanne, like, so the sacred rage and the workbook together, you know, I feel like they will be really, you know, really, really, really empowering and really, really, really insightful. With the workbook, you have got a questionnaire on there, you know, and it asks you certain questions to see whether you have a healthy relationship with anger or not such a healthy relationship with anger. And the thing is, like, it's very eye-opening, it's very enlightening, and it's not about sort of like beating yourself up or thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this space? I guarantee that once you do the questionnaire, you probably will be quite surprised about where you sit when it comes to your relationship with anger, you know. And this is to open up a bigger discussion. We can dive deeper into this, we can do some more work on it if you guys want to. It's all about allowing yourself to be open. It's all about allowing yourself to be vulnerable, because ultimately a lot of the rage, a lot of the anger that we carry around with us on a daily basis stems from when we were tiny, you know, and it comes from all of the so-called life lessons that we've learned and all of the stories that we tell ourselves in order to be able to cope and survive. And sometimes that's a minefield. Sometimes, you know, that's a whole load of stuff to have to unpick. But, you know, it can be done. And when you do it, it is bloody amazing. Hi, Abby. Thank you for joining us. That's okay, darling. No worries at all. I have been speaking about shadow work and sort of like what it is and how to connect to it and what it's for and the purpose of it for a little while now. But if you have got a question, Abby, about shadow work or anything like that, do pop it in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer your question. If there is anything, again, that any of you want to discuss, please do pop them in the comments. My journey with sacred rage, you know, as it will be for anyone, is extremely personal. I used to be a really angry person. I used to have, you know, couldn't really control my temper. I could, but it was a struggle, you know, and I've had to really work through anger situations and rage and all of this sort of stuff. And it wasn't until about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago that I even discovered the term sacred rage. And this beautiful goddess, my most, you know, goddess Kali, who I love, who I have been able to work with and build a connection with, is the one that has opened me up to all of this and who has made me be able to understand it and embrace it and work with it. I will be pulling a Kali card at the end of the live as well, just to give us all a nice little collective message to finish up with. Let me just look through the comments and see what you guys are saying. I keep crying and then stopping. I'm also finding that things I thought I'd moved past are back in my head, and I'm getting angry or upset. I'm wanting to get rid of this bug and do the to do the book. Bless you, Joe. Do you know what it is? It's because you're shedding. Yeah, remember earlier I said to you, even the illness and the bug within itself, yeah, it's a physical thing, but I do feel like this is part of your ascension symptoms, because when we're awakening, when we're ascending and our body starts to vibrate higher, because that's what happens when we ascend, and also your DNA changes. As humans, our physical body, it gets sick. We get flu-like symptoms. So although this is a bitch, Joe, this is you ascending, babe. And that's why it's felt so heavy and so intense this time round. Those thoughts that keep on coming into your head, right? They're coming because, yes, they are still triggering, but this is your opportunity now to really, really dig into those things and figure out what it is about it that is really making you angry, because this is coming up. All of these things I'm channeling now, all of these things are coming up so that you can give yourself the closure that you need, because you weren't able to get the closure that you needed from those other people in those other situations. You are moving forward, you are awakening, you are ascending, you are transcending, and this stuff is not coming with you. So it is time for you to give yourself the closure. And even if it feels like shit, even if you find yourself getting angry, even if you find yourself crying, that is a release. You are releasing it. Your body, your system, your energy field is releasing it all. The anger, allow yourself to feel that anger, but then ask yourself, what do I do with this now? What would I do differently? What does that anger motivate you to do? What healthy outcome can you come up with from that anger, from that rage? You know, if you want to work through it a little bit more, we can have a bit more of a chat and we can get into it a little bit deeper, but that's the gist of it, honey. Abby, I've been doing shadow work. I've got a shadow work journal. It's quite difficult. I might make one. I think I might make one that's simple, you know, one that we can follow together, one that we can work through, one that we can give you little tasks and you can go away and do them, and then we can come back and discuss them. Because shadow work is a minefield. It isn't easy and it is extremely emotional. And you do also need to know what you're doing. So I think I'll put a shadow work journal together over the next few weeks, and then maybe we can do that. What is the first to releasing repressed anger? It's very different for everybody, the first sign of releasing repressed anger, because everybody's situations, experiences, thought processes, belief systems, yada, 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 are very different. So usually repressed anger presents as fear, frustration, or procrastination and confusion. You know, usually the confusion comes first, and then you have to work through the other stuff and figure out, oh shit, this is because I'm actually really angry and really pissed off about something. I admit that's me. I'm an angry person. My first emotion with nearly every situation is anger. But that's because you've always had to be so defensive, Abby. Do you know what I mean? It's not, you know, it's not a coincidence. It's not because you're trying to be a difficult person. You've always had to protect yourself. You've always had to be on the defensive. So anger is your go-to. Anger is your friend in your mind. Anger keeps you safe, you know, and that's what it is. It's about unpicking all of that stuff. That vulnerable little girl who ended up getting scared, and that fear turned into anger, and that anger turned into armor. It's what I'm here to help you with, babe. It's so exciting. It is exciting. What's going on, cuz? Thanks for jumping on. That's cool. I'm loving this. I had Craig on my live on Instagram the other day, and now I got you on here. Thank you for joining. Mwah. Hope you're good. Hello to the fam. Joanne, some of it is stupid decisions I made. I'm excited to finally get it all gone and become me again. And this is the thing, right? Sacred rage, shadow work, it is going to empower you. It is going to free you. It is going to give you the insight, the answer, the powers, the freedom that you need to release all of the crap that has been crushing you for all these years. And then to find the essence of who you truly are, so that you can live freely, so that you can be happy, so that you can create the life that you want. Oh, I'm glad you like the books. That would really help if you made a shadow work journal. I'm on it, girls. On it, on it, on it. Joanne, oh wow, I'm so frustrated by stuff, but I procrastinate something rotten. And that is all anger, that paralyzing fear, you know, that dread. Remember what I was saying about empaths being made and not born the other day? It's the same sort of thing with procrastination and sort of like neurodivergence, because a lot of starseeds, a lot of empaths, a lot of light workers are neurodivergent. If you follow me, if you're here, you're more than likely neurodivergent as well. And it is all of the trauma, all of the stuff that we have experienced throughout our whole entire lives that end up having an impact on our brain, that make us procrastinate, that make us paralyzed, that make us not be able to deal with all of the emotions and all of the things that we've got going on, because we're already so open, we already feel things so deeply. It just all becomes a little bit too much. I was always told I'm just a lazy man. Nah, babe. Nah, you're a light worker. That's what you are. You're a starseed. You're neurodivergent probably too, but not a lazy man. I keep doing research on repressed anger to summarize it in short terms. Growing up, you didn't grow up in an environment where you express your anger healthily, or you grew up in a volatile environment. 100%, you did not feel safe enough to be able to express your full range of emotions, you know. And again, this goes back to people pleasing. A lot of us will have grown up where we felt like we needed to people please, where we needed to appease, where we needed to keep the peace and make sure that everybody was okay and smiling and from tiny, because the alternative was so much worse. So this is what we're left with. Yeah, these are the coping mechanisms, these are the residual issues that as adults we are now left with, but really and truly have no idea what they are. So when you start to understand it and when you start to unpick it, of course you're going to be angry, because you've been let down, because you've been failed, because you've always been told that you were a lazy mare, when really there's actually a really fucking good reason why. Of course you're going to be angry. But what do you do with that anger? We turn it into sacred rage and we transmute the hell out of it. I've walked on eggshells since I was a kid. See? Of course you have. And then you wonder why you grow up and get in toxic relationships with stupid idiots. Of course you do. Because it's familiar, because it's what you know, because it feels safe, until you turn around 30 years later and you're a grown woman and you realise that actually something's not right here. And you're like, fuck. I know. When I get overwhelmed, everything becomes louder but fuzzy, and then I blow up with anger. So that would be like, that's a trait of autism. Like, I don't know if you have a diagnosis, but that's a massive trait as autism, because your brain's wired differently. and you're overstimulated. So therefore you can't cope and your brain can't process and you don't know what to do apart from go, ah! Do you know what I mean? Like, hadn't put it all together until now. But that is why I'm here. That's what I'm here for, to put it all together for you. I told you the other day, you know, like I could write a novel, I could make a film out of my life, I swear to God, but I wouldn't change it because it's given me all these lessons and it's made me into who I am. And it took me long enough. It was hard enough, you know, to put all the pieces together. All right, fair enough. A lot of it came through spirit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm here for, to put it all together for you so that you don't have to, because you've already got enough to deal with. It's already stressful enough. It's already hard enough. I'm here to help. So excited for 2024. Yeah, baby. Bigger and better in 2024. Onwards and upwards. We are heading into the new year with a whole new mentality, a whole fresh vibe. I can't fucking wait. I'm super excited. Andrea, environment and severely unhealthy expressions of anger. So you've grown up afraid of the emotion. As a result, you're afraid of anger and the emotion turns inward, resulting in shame. Yeah, 100%. But I do just want to make the point that even if you don't grow up in quote unquote a toxic environment, there is this notion, there is this preconception generally within society that anger is a bad thing. Anger is not a bad thing. Like, it's not, you know, it is a tool to be used. It has been misunderstood and misconstrued for centuries. Yeah. Every emotion that we have is a powerful emotion. Every emotion that we have is a powerful tool to be utilized. Anger is no different. So even if you have, you know, a well-rounded household and a quote unquote well-rounded upbringing, likelihood is 80-90% of the time your parents, your caregivers are going to view anger as an unhealthy emotion. So therefore you're not going to have that space and that freedom and that stability to be able to express it in the way that you need to. And nobody teaches us this stuff. We're not shown how to do it. It's all right, Andrea. It's relevant. It's fine, babes. I don't have a diagnosis, but I've always thought I was autistic. I do have OCD, though, which gets worse when I'm stressed, angry, upset. And quite often, OCD and other things go hand in hand with autism. So I would say, babe, the likelihood of it is that you do. I'm hearing from spirit that you do. We've all got such a good future. We really have, you know, like, again, like I said, if you're here, you most definitely are here for a reason. It's because you're a badass, it's because you're a starseed, it's because you're an empath, it's because you're magic as hell. Yeah, and it's because you're made for bigger and better things. And this is the turning point. Like, we're doing things different. You know, all of the knowledge that I have, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to make so many things fall into place that you're going to be like, fuck, how did I not see that before? And with that information, it is going to raise your vibration and it is going to empower you and it is going to help you get clear and strong and focused and ready for whatever it is that is to come for you, because you are in control and you decide. This is a good point too, Antoinette. I guess I was sharing where it stems from me, from research. Don't know if anyone else relates. No, 100%, because what you're saying, Andrea, like, is true. It is relevant, and for quite a lot of people, that would be the situation. However, I do just want to make people aware that, you know, let's keep it real. There is a huge stigma around anger and being angry and expressing rage. You know, especially for me, as sort of like a mixed race person, there's this whole, you know, societal thing of like the angry black woman. Do you know what I mean? But anger is powerful. You know, you can be perceived as being angry, but be so productive, be so, I don't know, so many things. But that perception, that association with it, immediately, regardless of whether you know this stuff or not, you hear the word anger and you think something negative, you think something bad, just like, oh my God, what now? Who's kicking off? Not, wow, let me sit and transmute this for a second and turn it into sacred rage so that I can manifest the life that I want and clear some of my shadows and my blockages at the same time. Like, that's not your go-to when you think of anger, is it? The first thing you think is like, oh shit, great, what now? I don't know how I would go about getting a diagnosis. Right to choose. If you jump on Google, Abby, type in right to choose. The right to choose is a incentive where you click on one of the links basically, and it will say, do you want a autism assessment or do you want an ADHD assessment? You fill in some paperwork. You have to make sure that you do this though, because if you've got ADHD or autism, you'll probably fill out the form and not even print it off or get it to the doctor, but you have to make sure you follow through. So you fill out the form, you print it off, you take it to your doctor's surgery. Depending on your results, your doctor will refer you to a specialist to have an ADHD or an autism assessment. Now, there is still a waiting list. I think it's roughly about 3 years, I'm not sure, but it is a lot shorter than the NHS waiting list. So if you do want to find out more information about getting an ADHD or an autism assessment and cut some of that waiting time in half, go and have a look at Right to Choose. I'm looking forward to 24. I'm focusing on my spiritual development. A freaking men. Yeah, I've always been told I'm miserable. But why is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not miserable. There's just always been a lot going on, and you've learned that it's safer for you to stay quiet, to shut down, to keep yourself to yourself, to keep your defenses and your guard up. And then other people want to perceive that as miserable. But this is the thing. We're not subscribing in 2024. We're not subscribing to other people's bullshit. We're not subscribing to other people's views and opinions of us. Yeah, some people may know our stories and some people may not. But you know what? Your view of me is not a reflection of me. Your view of me is a reflection of you. So therefore, I don't really give a fuck what you think. And that's not hostile and it's not angry. It's just real. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to continue to let other people's thoughts and opinions and worries and concerns dictate how I live my life and how I relate to myself. That is not happening anymore. You know you better than anyone else. You know why you are the way you are. You're just not used to giving yourself the compassion and the time and the understanding that you need and that you deserve. And that is what we're going to change. And I feel so much better knowing it's not all me being miserable, lazy, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's not. It's not. It's not just you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just life. This is what life has done. This is what society has done. This is, this is the plan. If we're there feeling bad, feeling stuck, feeling confused, beating ourselves up, worried, scared, uncertain, they're winning. The powers that be, they're bloody winning, keeping us isolated and separate and alone and in fear. Not on my watch. I guess people will have their opinion of us. Certainly doesn't mean they're right. 100%. It doesn't mean they're right. And even if they think they're right, do you know what? Good for you. Stay over there with your opinion. I don't accept it. You don't have to accept other people's thoughts and opinions of you. You don't have to live up to other people's expectations of you. All you need to do is live up to your own expectations. All you need to care about is how you feel about yourself. We're awesome, badass goddesses. Yes, we are. I'm turning that into a song. That's our affirmation now. Awesome, badass goddesses. Awesome, badass goddesses. Awesome, badass goddesses. Like, sing that to yourself every day. Awesome, badass goddesses. Like, it's amazing. It's powerful. That's going to get you vibing high in the morning while you're brushing your teeth. Like, come on. Anyway. That, in a nutshell, is sacred rage. Now you know what to do with it. Use it. If you need any more help or any more advice or have any more questions or whatever the case may be, or want to talk to me about it in private, hit me up. You can do that. We can do that. It's not a problem. But just know that you're not alone. And know that it's not just you. And know that there is nothing wrong with you. I struggle to understand my own strengths and magic. I want to change that. And we will. Why do you think we've got the empowerment portal over on Patreon? Because we are on a journey of awakening and understanding and empowering. So it will change. Don't you worry about that. Right. Let me pull a Kali card to finish up with. We have got, can you see that? Dakshina. Dakshina Kali. Let me read the message. Go on then. Dakshina Kali. Fear can undermine your confidence, erode your trust, and steal away the joy you take in living. Just let that sink in for a minute. The benign yet mighty Dakshina Kali manifests to conquer fear and realign your mind and path towards peace and light. Make a sincere offering from your heart to her now. That offering is your anger. Offer Dakshina Kali your anger right now. You will receive her generous blessings and assistance. Open your heart with trust, for that which is blessed and beautiful wants to manifest in your life. It is time. Hand your fear over to Kali and await the blessings that are to come. Some hotheads are funny, yes. But that is the message. Just take a second, close your eyes, breathe, and any anger, any frustration, any tension that you have, feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow it to rise through your body until it gets to your heart. Just hold it there for a second. Notice how it makes you feel. Now we're going to surrender. We're going to surrender all anger, all hurt, all pain, all heartache, all frustration. We are going to surrender it over to Dakshina Kali. Open your heart where you hold your rage, where you hold your fear, where you hold your frustration, and see as a beaming green light pours out from the center of your heart space into the cosmos, taking with it all worry, anger, fear, anxiety, stress, strain, and negativity. Direct to the Divine Mother to hold, to transmute. Trust that she is with you, trust that she is guiding you, and trust that she is supporting you, because she is. Take a deep breath in. And now blow out. I'm just going to clear the space and clear the energy. And that, my darlings, is that. Right. Sending you all the love right back, babe. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for joining me on my first ever live on YouTube. We got through it. We survived. I hope that you have found this information useful. I hope that you will utilize it moving forward. I hope that, you know, you've got what you needed from this and it's helped to make some sense. And if you do want to work any more with Sacred Rage or need me to help you with that in any way, shape or form, you know where I am. You know where to get me. Come find me. I'm here. Good. I'm glad that it's been useful. And I hope that it's been a little bit eye-opening as well. I'm so bloody excited for 2024 and the journey that we're all going to be going on together. I can't wait. Have an amazing evening. And I'll see you in the week. Bye-bye, my beautifuls.